I think I said it yesterday, but like being out there with y'all yesterday, legit, like that's what I needed.
Good.
That's what I needed with y'all, boss. Now I'm feeling good. Good.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Can't see because why make excuses when you could put up?
Hey, I ain't even gonna lie.
You see my tweet?
Yeah, I did. But
Well, wasn't my tweet, but
I've been on Greedy. Greedy just got me like.
hey, that song go crazy too. People be sleeping on Greedy, bro.
Greedy
I feel like
fire.
the most slept songs on the album, like when it first came out, was On My Way and Greedy.
Are we on 16? Episode 16?
17. Episode
there we go.
17.
Dang. Been in the game for a minute, isn't it?
For a minute.
Hey, if you want some help, hey, just subscribe to the bio, man. We got a class on how to start a podcast.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
We still learning. He lied.
Hey, I'm letting you know right now, dog. If y'all want to learn how to do this podcast shit, just let me know. Cause like we selling this thing for about $5. We're gonna start an ebook. We got an ebook in the bio.
That's news to me, y'all. Look,
Yeah.
we got an ebook coming out.
Yes, sir.
Be on the lookout for that in June.
But I cannot lie, this Greedy has really been my shit.
The more I get, the more I want.
I will say, you really could have took P and D off the album at this point.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I hate to say it.
No, the album still.
It's growing
needs
on me. You need it. You need them, but not as much.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Not really.
Yes, because think about
If I was
Somebody
P&D, I'd
Loves
be
You.
pissed.
How he come in on Somebody Loves You?
That's fair.
Come on now. Something about you. All those like P&D went crazy too.
P&D went crazy, but just listening to this guy like talk his shit, I just knew then. I said, man, I feel it now.
Yeah, you gotta be in some shit to feel it.
I feel it now.
You gotta be in some shit to feel it.
I understand it now.
But when I was talking about my tweet was that everybody was saying how, or not everybody, somebody tweeted that raining in Houston gives you like jungle vibes from, if you're reading this, it's too late.
I can see that. A very interesting like week, you know?
Well, welcome
Let's
back,
talk.
people.
Welcome. Welcome. Hey, let me tell you. So, somebody over here on this couch, not named Cam B, got a lot of like support, but also a lot of scrutiny this week.
Oh yeah. I didn't know where we were going with that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and knock that out the way. I'm gonna clear the floor. Hey, we're gonna clear out for you. ISO ball.
ISO ball. I'm getting downhill with it every time. You
to
already
it.
know what I'm about to do. Filet. Speaking of Malaysia. That was unintentional, just flow.
No, for real.
But obviously, we talked about Malaysia wanting to transfer last week, and we actually talked about Malaysia in South Carolina ever since we started this podcast, since episode 1. So
we've been talking about women's basketball since day one.
Since day one, and so one thing that we want to talk about is like, especially for me, as critical as I am with basketball, I played it, I coach it, and coach it in college, all of these different things. Mm-hmm. So I look at basketball much differently than the general fan. So when I'm looking at it, I'm critiquing it every time, or I'm trying to learn from it. So when I had my take last week on the transfer, I'm going from a coach's perspective, and I understand that she's still in college and learning all these different things. Nobody's trying to bash her. Nobody's trying to hate. It's none of that. It's just a critical eye, somebody that's a huge, has a huge passion for basketball and a huge passion for development. So that's all it is. So, I hope that there's other people telling her these things, and I hope that she continues to get better. I'm not saying that she didn't get better at all from freshman year to sophomore year. All I'm saying is that there's still some holes in her game, just like anybody else. And, with somebody that has aspirations to get to the W, then you got to fix some of those things in order to be successful. So
I got two things. Like, I think Malaysia's like hoes are a bit more like identifiable because she plays a bigger brand of basketball.
Yeah. And so she plays for one of the top teams in the country. Yeah.
So like, of course, like I want all the women like athletes or sports supporters to understand that like as the women's game grow, mm-hmm. we're gonna talk about women's sports. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
I think that is what's a part of growing the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And in that, there has to be some objectivity. There also needs to be a part where, like we told her, like we would tell her, when you do something good, we're gonna talk about the good. But if you do something bad, we're gonna talk about the bad. Yeah. Now there is some animation in that because we are fans of the game. You feel me?
I could have said it in a better tone.
Yeah, but sometimes
I could have used some different verbiage apparently.
But
I am who I am. Yeah. And I said what I said. So
it's very much a situation where like it's always like it's not what you say, it's how it's said. But also we come from a generation, the 40-year-olds that we come from a generation that like, you had to kind of read between the lines of certain things. Now
with that, I want to say too, like one thing, Sergeant Simpson gave us cut, dry, yelling, cussing at us all the time, right? And my mama I used to be so mad training with my dad. Like, man, I hate him. Like, this is my nerve. I'm like, dang, can he calm down? Can he chill? Like, I'm running away, right? I'm done with this. But my mama used to say, don't listen to the how, just listen to the what.
Exactly.
That very simple. So like what you said right there. Like, I think this generation struggles with being coached, being critiqued, and being held accountable. Yeah. And I think that hinders them at times when if they use it more as fuel, it could help elevate them.
I agree.
So I think we just gotta take it like that.
Yeah, we're not gonna stay too much longer on this, but hey, we said what we said. We're not taking it back. We're not doing this for clicks, for views. We're really just talking our-ish. And if y'all like it, y'all like it. And if y'all don't click. So
there you go. You can plug in. Yeah.
But yeah, I will say a hit dog will holler every time in all aspects of life. But what?
Nothing.
It is time for the plug.
Plug!
Where we get into the latest and greatest of going on in your neck of the woods, just different events and resources to charge you up for the week. We live in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, so a lot of the things that we come to is in Charlotte. Maybe one day we'll talk about some things outside of Charlotte. If y'all start paying us some moolah to come visit,
Exactly.
Come get the ebook. The ebook is in the bio. We're going to teach you how to podcast. So let's get started.
It's like a running joke the whole time. And it's like, please don't believe it.
Hey, Charlotte Shot is still going on. God dang, when is this ever going to end?
The 20th. So it ends this weekend.
God
and
dang.
I said I was going to go. I've had 0 time to go.
Yeah.
So that's that. But if any of y'all have gone, please comment and let us know how it's been.
I will say, I've been here for 3 years. I still have not been to
You know
one.
what I'm saying? But I hear great things.
I hear great things, but I have no desire to go.
Well,
It don't, but the reason why I say that is because it don't remind me of Fall for Greenville. Fall for Greenville, like everybody in the city used to be out there.
Yeah.
Like Charlotte don't really give that because don't nobody really live in Charlotte that's from Charlotte for the most part.
Yeah, that's true. You got a lot of people that kind of come in. Yeah.
But as you know, the QC Current is on IG. I think we dropped that yesterday.
Yep.
Man, let me tell you. Have you been out? Usually I'm always calling you Miss Outside.
Right.
I've been outside the last 4 days.
Love that for you.
I will. First of all, I went to go see, Thursday night, I went to go see Sinners.
Man, everybody is talking about that movie. I just got a text from my boy, Austin. He was like, he was telling the chat, he was like, y'all got to go see Sinners.
Oh my
I was like, I haven't heard a bad review yet.
Well, Ryan Coogler, if he and Michael B. Jordan don't get a Oscar, and even the villain, I don't know his name, shout him out, the Irish guy, the Irish vampire, if he doesn't get like some type of supporting actor, like, I don't know what's going on. It's racism at this point. It's probably the best movie I've seen in the last 3 years.
That's what a lot of people saying. They saying 10 out of 10, best movie they seen, like no critiques.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, I don't do horror, and they're like, it's not really horror for real. Mm-hmm. So they're like, go see it. So now I'm like, maybe I will go see it.
It's one scene where like,
don't tell me.
No, I'm not. There's one scene where like it's like singing and dancing going on. Yeah. But it's merging all of the genres of just like that time of like the 1930s to like the 70s to like B-boy, like 2000s. Yeah. Then it goes into like other cultures. Like and it all like meshes well together. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you're going to love it. You love music. So go see Sinners. So I did go to Sinners. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I want some wings. So I go to Tanqueray.
No.
What's the name of it? No, I'm dead serious.
Taranga.
Taranga.
The new spot here in Charlotte. Tanqueray. He call it something different every time he tells me about it.
Went to Taranga.
Okay. And what's the review there?
I cannot lie.
Out of 10, what's the vibe? And then let's go food.
The vibes are there.
Okay. So out of 10.
It was actually, I give it like a 8.2.
Ooh.
It was R&B night. So
I love R&B
Thursday nights is R&B night at Taranga. Did I say that right?
There you go, yeah.
Taranga Thursday nights. The wings were a little small. But also, like, I didn't even meet nobody. I went out there solo dolo. So I'm one, I don't need to go out with anybody. Now, if she's available or if anybody else available, I will go. But if I'm like, bro, I'm going, I'll meet the vibe wherever I'm at.
Right. And you can talk to people too. You're social.
I'm going to get to that because I went somewhere today.
Right.
So then, Thursday night, got the Taranga, got the wings. And
what kind of wings did you get?
I got hot lemon pepper.
Oh, okay.
Mix them in together. You gotta mix those.
Well, niggas love lemon pepper, so they would want to know that.
Yeah. Lemon pepper hot. That's what I get. Anytime I go, lemon pepper hot. So I went there, got lemon pepper hot. They were small. The ranch was not homemade. I'm a real stickler for ranch. That shit pissed me off.
Well, you knew it wasn't gonna be homemade.
I did. Anywho, wings were not that bad. They were just small. But there were some other people that got food there. They said the food is not good. But I didn't know the Taranga's in Atlanta too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they say the food is 10 times better than the one in Atlanta.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if you see this Taranga, I'm not trying to throw shade. Don't hit us in our DMs. I'm just saying,
that's what
like,
people say.
I'm giving the review. All right.
That's what people said.
So went to Taranga and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go on a chicken wing like review tonight.
Okay. So where next?
Flirt. Went to the strip club to get some chicken wings.
Flirt.
You know why?
Flirt, that upscale
yeah,
strip
over
club.
there by Alibi.
Connected to Alibi, yeah.
Did not know that Flirt is the spot and Alibi is a part of Flirt.
Yes, I told you that
I thought there was two separate.
when I went to that day party.
I was listening, but I wasn't listening.
You see what I'm saying? Just be talking to myself, y'all.
That's my problem right there. I don't listen. But
It's two parts of communication. That's what I tell my kids all the time.
what is it?
There's the actual talking, then the listening. But proceed.
That's my problem. But anywho, get there, get the wings, end up having an insightful conversation with a stripper.
We love that.
Yeah, like she legit gave me all her Instagrams, and now she wants to be She gave me like 3 of them.
That's wild.
And then made me subscribe to all 4 of her YouTube channels.
She better subscribe back to us.
She didn't. She followed me back though.
No. How you gonna subscribe to hers but not have her subscribe to us?
She took my phone and like
legit
legit
did it herself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I wasn't doing all that work.
Gotcha.
But anywho, did all that, had an insightful conversation. She read me for filth. She actually read me like 10 out of 10, but not for filth. It was actually pretty good reading.
Okay.
But she said she could only go so far because you got to pay for everything.
Of course.
Yeah. And now she might be our next co-host.
No, she's not.
She said she's going to be our co-host.
No, she's not.
So,
no, she's not. We don't know this lady.
Damn.
Papa, who is this woman?
Wings though.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the best wings that I've had in Charlotte.
Well, that makes sense. It's
other than Chet's wings.
Strip club, so.
No, for sure. Those wings are like delicious. So
right.
If you want wings, definitely go to Flirt. But the only thing is, it's $20 cover charge, and I paid for wings. That was crazy.
$20 cover charge. You paid for the wings. Did you buy a drink?
Yeah, I bought me a drink, and I bought her a drink just to like.
Okay, how much was your drink?
She got a vodka and like cranberry. It was like $8.
Oh, okay. Because when I went for that day party, where they jumped was hot.
The drinks are not that bad though. My drink, I drink gin, so I got like a Hendrix and orange juice.
Oh, okay.
It was like $12, $13.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they're actually having a day party today at Alibi. Dope vibes with the people that usually do dope brunch.
Yeah.
So there's some people that are out there. So if you guys are out there having a time, enjoy yourself, be safe. I'm sure the vibes are high.
Yeah.
And then there's a Charlotte FC game today. The Charlotte Knights are playing. The city is
lit.
Buzzing.
And earlier I was at what's the name of that place?
Why do we both do
Supper Club. They had
I love Supper Club.
Art and Brew event was at Supper Club today.
It was at Supper Club.
Yes.
I love Supper Club. It's like
my goodness.
Our hidden gym. We love to go in there.
It ain't hitting no more.
Usually nobody in there. So now I hate that they brought all these people there. Damn.
It ain't hitting no more. And let me tell you, they were outside. The ratio was beautiful. Like a 65 to like 35 ratio.
Of fine to ugly? Or what are we saying?
Women to like
men. Oh, my fault. I went wrong.
Yeah, you were thinking about something different.
Okay, my fault. Oops.
There were beautiful women there. Like, look, I'm one, I don't see ugly.
Yeah.
If you're, I don't see ugly. But there was some really beautiful women out there. I sat by myself because like I said, I go by myself. ended up around like 5 or 6, like it was 4 women that sat at my table. We just had a good old time talking. And one of my homegirls, the one that's supposed to be coming on the
the podcast.
Yeah, we can't say her name because she don't want to get canceled.
She don't get canceled. There's not that many people watching yet.
It ain't. But for the ones that are watching, she don't want to get canceled. So
she won't get canceled. We gotta keep talking her into it.
Yeah, we got to talk. I think she's gonna come next week though.
So anyway, back to R&B and Brew. Okay. So I'm kind of sad.
R and Brew.
Oh, R and Brew. Sorry, I'm kind of sad it was at Supper Club, but that's neither here nor there. So let's keep with the rankings here, or with the ratings.
Let's talk about it.
All right, vibes out of 10.
R and Brew. Oh, the vibes were there at 10.
10 out of 10. Ooh,
10.
Love that.
I love Supper Club.
I've been seeing it on TikTok and that shit be lit. Yeah. It's sticking now.
Supper Club is really fire. R and Brew is like makes it even better.
Yeah.
The only thing is like, I think with our like events, the lines for drinks are always so long.
Yeah.
So if they had like different stations, like one outside, one inside, it would be a lot better.
That would be smart, yeah, because they only got the one bar in the inside.
But Indigo Charlotte was there.
Okay.
That line was out the door.
Yeah.
Was I in that line? No. But like everyone loves like Indigo Charlotte.
That's a coffee spot you take, right? Okay, so that's good. I know the drinks are good at Supper Club, so
no facts.
Okay.
So vibes were there, drinks were there. I did not try the food because
they have brunch food?
No, they had it was almost like bar food.
Oh no.
Like sliders, mozzarella sticks, all that kind of stuff. No. So I wasn't even really fooling with that.
I will say Supper Club's food is not that great anyway.
Yeah, but it's a lot of temptation out here in Charlotte. I will say that. I made a lot of eye contact. But
that's where it starts.
Seat. Yeah, it does.
That's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
They be trying to lock you in with them eyes.
You're not locking me in, shawty.
Trying to lock you in the eyes. Don't become a sinner. On this Easter Sunday.
Don't do it.
Or Easter weekend.
But what I will say is that it is Easter weekend. So when y'all get this, man, happy Easter. Happy 420 for those who going to blow a tree on the Sunday. But, man, Saturday has been a really good day. We are shooting a day early.
We are shooting a day early. And the day's not even over with yet because we actually going to pop out after this.
Yes, we're going to watch the Laker game, but we'll talk about that later. Later,
yeah.
But, man, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, since you brought up 420, there are some 420 events tomorrow. I know Flora Distro is having an event. I don't remember if it's today or tomorrow. Either way, some different things going on throughout the weekend. But anyway, you guys enjoy yourselves with that.
And there's a 420 festival.
Oh, interesante.
With the baby and some other names. I don't know the names, but if you're popping out to that, hopefully you are safe. You made it back home, and you're at work today.
Bingo, yeah. But with 420 being this weekend, you know who dropped yesterday? Your boy, Wiz Khalifa. What a whole vibe.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hey.
Did you listen to it?
From top to bottom. Literally, that night when I went to go see the movie, I rode around listening to it.
Oh, dope. Yeah. That's probably a good little vibe at nighttime. It was a nice day yesterday when it dropped, and so I rode around going from gym to gym, thing to thing that I normally do, and I listened to it as well, and it was really, really good. It was honestly better than I thought it was going to be.
A lot better than what I thought it was going to be. I was a little worried, but yeah.
Because when you take that much time off and still find a way to be current without doing the trendy stuff that's happening,
and staying true to himself.
Bingo. And so I like the features that were on there. I like the Florida album. Mm-hmm. I love just the chill, peaceful vibes.
Yep.
And him just kind of talking his stuff, you know what I mean? And it gave a good part to the Kush and Orange Juice, the original. I love it.
For him to be in the game, I mean, Kush and Orange Juice came out in 2010, probably earlier. The first one.
Come on, statistician.
Don't touch my laptop.
Oh, excuse me.
But I will say that this was probably one of the better albums that I even heard in 2025. Just from top to bottom. Now, don't get me wrong. Some sexy songs for you is up there.
Okay.
It's growing on me ever since life has happened. It's growing on me. But
the more you listen to it, the more you like it.
The more I get, the more I want. Y'all gonna listen to this thing. Nah, but Kush and Orange Juice 2, they definitely had a few Ty Dolla $ign was on there.
Yeah, I like that.
Love that.
Yeah.
He, my guy's Larry June, so for him to do a song with Larry June, I think I seen something on Twitter. No, I don't even be on Twitter, but it was on Instagram where somebody screenshot it, put it on from Twitter on Instagram. They were like, man, we're waiting on Larry June and a Wiz Khalifa collab.
Oh, that'd be dope.
yeah, for them to have like him to have that feature on that album,
Yeah.
solid. So.
Throw a little Ty Dolla $ign in there. Beautiful. But also, hold on now. You know my boy Don Toliver was on that album.
He was.
You know I love
that was,
some
that was
Don.
on the playlist. That was on the
That was
playlist
on the playlist this week. Make sure y'all plug into the playlist, which we're gonna talk about in a minute. But that was on there. Love some Don Toliver. So that was a good record for sure. Good feel good record, yeah.
But man, I enjoyed the album. Oh, Alex Isley put out an album.
She dropped an EP.
She did.
I haven't listened to all the songs on there just yet, but I'm excited to dive into that. Just haven't been in that kind of like
that first track that came up. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I just started skimming. I was starting to skim through the other ones. It was a little too like poppy, like up tempo. I like Alex Isley when she's like in that flow of just like
sad,
or
chill, or lovey-dovey.
Not for real. I need like that lovey-dovey act.
That's what I was expecting. So I gotta go listen to this.
Yeah,
I'll go sit on my job to Columbia tomorrow.
You know, you'll be the one that say, Cameron, you're wrong. You need to go back and listen, and I'll do it. So
we shall see.
Yeah.
Also, some other people dropped the album as well.
Mm-hmm.
Westside Gunn, if you guys listen to him.
I did see that.
Griselda.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he drops something every other month.
Not for real. He really be dropping hard.
Like got music on the that boy got music like a Rolodex. Y'all young people might not know about that, but apparently we pushing 40, so
not for real. We pushing 40.
But yeah, so anyway, Raphael Sadiq, also a little old school for ya.
Yeah.
He dropped as well, and then some people dropped some records.
Yeah.
Leon Thomas, my boy, my favorite, dropped one with.
I was about to say drop another remix.
With Halle Bailey. And it's a good little record. It's a different kind of sound than most people, but that's if you listen to him a lot, that's part of his sound. So it was a good record though. It's called Rather Be Alone. Mm-hmm. So I listened to that a couple times yesterday. My boy Destin Conrad dropped Kissing in Public. That was also on the playlist for this week. Another good record. He's dropping an album soon, so I cannot wait for that. And I don't know if you're supposed to call this girl, or does she go by girl or them thing? I don't know for sure. Either way, I don't know if it's known or if you just call her KWN.
I go known.
You go known?
I go known.
Is that what she said though? Is that her name is known? I call her known too.
I call her known.
Y'all know who we talking about, but she finally dropped Do What I Say, which has been blowing up on TikTok over the last like month or two.
For real?
She's been dancing. Yeah, you seen her? Paint her nails.
That's her?
Yeah. Paint your nails the way I like them. She be doing that little shit. Cause I might paint mine too. Cause I know a place I can hide them, and it's inside you. Hey, that had a little bit. That might have a little hand in it at the end. You heard it? You heard the harmonization? Is that a word?
Yeah. We're gonna make it today. Hey, we're gonna make it today.
Hold on, I'm gonna play that one for y'all. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Cause the Cam Allen, he ain't know for real.
I did.
Come on.
Let me see the cover page. I love the hands. Hands are really soft.
You need to see the TikTok.
Oh, I heard this.
Right. Cause what?
You know what she sound like? Tory Lanez.
I love it.
Yeah. Told y'all been missing Tory Lanez.
Nah, alright, not too much.
The sound.
Not too much.
The sound.
I hear ya. I hear what you're saying.
Nah, but I will say, like, if you can say whatever you want, as long as you have a nice harmony, because who would have thought in 2025 that we'll hear a song that's somebody repeating saying, paint your nails the way I like them, and it would be a vibe, a bop.
Well, you know, girlies like to get their nails done. It's a good concept because girlies like to get their nails done. Yeah. And a lot of times they be asking me, ooh, how should I get my nails? How should I get my nails? Da, da, da.
Do you feel like it's a problem if, like, do your girl ask you, like, what nail color she should get?
Yeah, sometimes. That don't mean she always listen. But
okay.
Sometimes. And then if I say something about how, if I try to make a joke about how they look or something like that.
I like that hat.
Thank you.
All right, keep going.
If I say a little joke just to be talking shit about how they look or something, she's like, well, are you going to pay for me to get them that? Then don't say nothing.
Are you going to pay?
Sometimes. Not every time, but sometimes.
You gotta pay. Oh,
She's a well kept lady though, so let me
is.
let me shield. It's just every now and then she get a nail broke, and a lot of times it's Keen's fault. So damn. So maybe I should pay for him.
Let me tell you, you know, I got bashed in the head this week about the 9s and 10s conversation.
Did you?
I did.
Let's plug into that real quick before we get into that.
Yeah, before the outlet. So there was a conversation like, do you not think I'm a 9 or 10? Or a 9 or a 10? I said you are. But you gotta understand, like, the way I perceive a 9 and 10, like from
that's a fucking nigga.
Excuse me, huh?
That's a fucking nigga.
What happened? What happened? I've been drinking today, man. It's lit. But I was like, you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it. I was like, off your looks, you could be a 9 or 10, but if you have a sucky attitude or like the way you think about things is like warped or
down.
basic, those looks don't matter. Like the looks will get you piped, but the looks won't get you a ring. You feel me?
Damn. The looks will
So
get you
like,
piped.
yeah, like if you sit there and you have a nice face, that'll get you approached. But
right.
if you talk basic shit, they only gonna want what comes like physically, you know?
Right.
But like I think what really makes a woman a 9 or 10, because I've met some women that are not as attractive as other women, but what have made them dimes is their ambition, their conversation, their personality,
Mm-hmm.
like those type of like qualities. So I think that like we gotta stop normalizing looks as being 9s and 10s and looking at the whole scope. So if you see yourself as a dime just because of your looks, you're basic. And I'm saying it now.
I need a dime, best top of the line, cute face, small waist, with a bit behind. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But then like Dream made one like, is she fine? Is shorty a dime? If she makes you eggs and grits in the morning, that's different. You
Hey
know
man,
what I mean?
I love the Dream. Actually, yes, because you could be a 10 if you can cook for sure. You might be a 7.
You might be a lamb. Take your ass up to a lamb.
Right now, broke my scale back. If you can cook,
bro, it's
you like to clean,
bro. All right, that sounds misogynistic.
you a whip. Oh,
Yeah.
whoops.
I've been in my misogyny classes.
Okay.
But nah, I ain't gonna lie. If you could cook, clean, and you have really good conversation, and like you just take initiative, and you funny.
Right. Give me a kiki.
Come on, stop playing with me, man.
Right. Might marry you tomorrow.
But like I said, like 9s and 10s, it's not just looks. If you're thinking about yourself as a dime just because you look like better than the rest,
Yeah.
you're probably a 5.
Right. Because what else do you bring to the
What
table?
do you bring to the table other than your looks
Mm.
and a nice wardrobe? But that's what that
Gotta be
is.
able to dress.
Yeah.
There's some 10s or 9s and 10s that can't dress either. So then what does that take them?
But I ain't gonna lie though, if you can't dress, you could still be a dime because that's fixable. You know what I'm saying?
Is it though?
It's more fixable
Sometimes
than
people just like their style.
yeah, but clothes are more fixable than a bad personality and
Oh,
attitude.
yeah, when you compare it that way, yes, I agree.
But like if a girl, even a guy could be a dime and the nigga don't know how to dress and he don't want to dress and he want to walk. Cause you know I'm the type of guy where I might go a couple weeks without like a cut. For one, I work from home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be on screen. But two, like haircuts cost like as much as getting braids.
Damn, how much it costs for you to get a haircut?
Like $75
For a haircut?
for a haircut,
That's crazy.
beard and everything.
Oh, these guys going crazy. But you know what? Everything expensive these
Everything
days.
expensive.
But
My dog really just went up. He was like 50. He went up 75. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, dog. I kept coming back, pause, because the fact that you had the cheapest but the best quality cut.
yeah.
That nigga went out for a week and came back with $25 added to it.
Yeah, he said no more of this.
That nigga said he ain't the only. Trump ain't the only person putting tariffs on shit.
That part.
We ain't gonna talk about that. Ain't got time. Ain't got time for
Yeah, people been
politics.
talking about how much it costs to get a retwist these days. It's like over like 120,
Really?
150. Mine free.
For the free ski.
For the free ski. God bless, and I'm so happy for it.
Yeah.
But even when I was getting mine done by somebody else, it was only like 70. But that was like a steal
That's still
from
that's
in
not
the
bad.
crib, and like I have been going to her since I started my lives too. So we
That's
like,
not bad.
yeah, that's my dog.
But yeah, man, inflation is a thing. These tariffs, they ain't going away. Hey, stack your coin or just get rolled over. Ain't nothing else I can say. I don't care.
Speaking of that too, because as we plug you guys in nationally, like these tariffs are really, really messing some shit up.
Oh.
Like people, for example, I was talking to somebody today, and he's talking about how they had ordered an outfit for this weekend, and it didn't come in time.
From where?
I mean, people have issues from Shein or whatever.
I don't know
if it was from Shein or not though. But people have been, not
Shein
ordering
comes from over there.
Huh?
Shein come from over there.
I know, from China.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to continue to have issues on shipping and all these tariffs, like more people are going to go back to going to the malls. But what they don't realize is too, in the mall, they get their stuff shipped too. So then you ain't going to have nothing at the mall. Then we're not
I'm about to say, they didn't even think it's smart.
It's Xing each other out, for real.
But have you seen where like there have been like manufacturers from China coming out telling like, I seen one, they was talking about the Louis Vuitton. They were talking about how the Louis Vuitton is broken down where what happens is the actual purse is made in China. Mm-hmm. But then they ship it to, like, if Gucci's in Italy, I don't know where it's at for real. What they'll do is they'll put their logo on it. And because they put their logo on it, they can technically say that it's made in Italy and charge an upcharge. Mm. But, like, there was a manufacturer in China that said, if you want the same quality, like, stuff, and you just don't care about the tag, just order from us. Mm. And we'll give it to you for, like, $50.
But that shipping fee, boy. I was about to get a shirt the other day because they was having a sale going on.
How much is the shipping fee? On
Eastside Golf.
Yeah.
And then I went to check out, and the shipping tax hiked that thing up about $15. I said, what was the whole point of my discount? I said, no, I'm good. I'm sorry. God told me, you don't need that, Sierra. Not today. Not today. I went ahead and just deleted that out the cart. Exit out of the browser and everything. See ya.
Yeah. Look, listen to me. We in the end game now. That's all I can say.
For real.
We in the end game. But man, let's go ahead, like we're gonna go ahead and tap in. Let's flow right into the outlet. This is where we discuss different views, different feelings, thoughts, everything that's going on in our society, man, is like professionals, entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms, lazy bombs, athletes, huh?
That took a turn, but yeah, okay.
No, there's no turn.
Okay.
I don't think there was. It a turn?
Lazy bums, like, where did that come from?
Because like lazy bombs, like they might listen too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Whoever you are out there.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, people out there, whoever those people are, they know who they are.
Fornicators, who are you are sinners. Like literally anybody.
Anybody, yeah.
So, man, anything coming from mental health, relationships, past traumas, all that, that's what we talk about here in the outlet, or the outlet. So, do you got the video? I sent you the...
Yes.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it, yeah.
What you think?
Are we going to play...
I think we should play it, yeah.
A snippet of it real quick.
So, I don't know if y'all are like plugged into like what's going on, just like in Atlanta or whatever, but there's a church out there, 2819, I think, 2815. Their head pastor is Anthony Mitchell. That's a guy that I really like to listen to. I've been listening to him like on a Monday or whatever when I'm working or whatever, just to get like a good word in. He kind of reminds me of like a Pentecostal preacher that's like very much like, if you do some crazy stuff, like you're going to hell. But I think he's just a real like guy, but he's also like a really good teacher. So last Sunday.
Do you listen to him often?
I listen to him like once a week.
Okay.
Maybe, all right, I'm lying. Last time I listened to him like months ago.
So, okay, sinners. So we just gonna lie just like that on Easter weekend.
I was really trying to flex.
I was like so impressed for a minute.
No, I don't listen to him all the time. But like he's one of my favorite ones. He's like a go-to. Okay. But like he has this like he had this script. He had this I guess this lesson this week where he's talking about young blacks in authority. So play this clip.
What a heathen. Okay.
Here we go. What a sinner.
For the killing of black kids. Instead, teach your black children to be obedient towards authority. And I don't care if most y'all are black. You need to teach your children to obey authority. We need to teach our sons and daughters to obey authority. We need to teach our children to not fight against authority, not fight against cops, not rebel. Be model citizens. Stop being rebellious towards authority. Be submitted to laws and ordinances. Stop parking in handicapped spaces unless you want a reason to park there.
Oh, this one came back.
Pay your taxes and stop cheating on your documents.
All
right, y'all get the idea.
You get the idea.
Yeah, y'all get the idea. So he just went on and on. I was like, when is this video gonna be over? When I was listening to it earlier, I was like, golly. Like, what the heck?
So I haven't listened to him in a while. Let's just be honest. Full confession moment. But I'm gonna ask you first. Like, what do you think about the concept of our young black kids like obeying authority, like police and all that kind of stuff?
Okay, let me start with this. I do think children in general should do a better job of respecting authority.
That's fair.
Young people.
I agree.
Now, when it comes to young people and cops, especially our black youth, right, and cops, I feel like racism is taught. So if we're going to say kids need to, be taught how to listen to authority, I think people should also be taught how to not be racist.
Can you teach somebody how not to be racist?
Yeah, it's a learned. I think racism is a learned behavior.
It's a learned behavior, but can it be unlearned?
I think it becomes it. I don't know if it can be unlearned, but I think that people should, within their households, be able to have conversation to let them know, like in a white household, they got to be aware of their privilege. Now, all white people gonna be like that? No, but that could be the hope that they would come around and not put that on black people, like, oh, black people are this or that, or minorities in general are this or that, or even calling us minorities. Let me not even say that.
You know what I mean? Technically not minorities anymore.
Right. But I mean, it starts too, like you got somebody in office right now who blatantly is racist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, again, I think because of who he is and the things he said and done, he's making it even more acceptable to be that way. And it's not. It's still not okay. Like, we are 2025 and we're going backwards, it feels like at times. And so I just feel that
subscribing to like white supremacy essentially.
Right. So I just feel like, if you're gonna say, and him being a black man saying this is just really bothersome. Because it's like,
is it bothersome?
Yeah, because I get you're a black male, you don't want to see your young black males being killed, right? Because you think they should respect authority. But it's also like, let's hold the people accountable behind the gun.
I agree.
And I think that's the problem that doesn't always happen, is like, if they're making those decisions, like what makes them feel so unsafe, so unprotected? Because they've learned or they've been taught by somebody, like, you gotta watch them because they usually do this, they usually do that. That's a taught thing. Yeah. And that shouldn't be taught.
I agree.
Like, allow people to be who they are, take it for what it is, right? And try to see the good in people rather than already putting some type of preconceived notion of who you think they are, who they have been in the past, or their people have been in the past.
All right, so these are not my views, but I am going to play the other side just so we can have a conducive conversation, right?
Sure.
So, like, when you think about what he said, I am a believer that, like, children should obey authority. I do think that I think there is a preconceived notion that we are rebellious people.
Right.
And that's what's portrayed within the media, different things, our music. A lot of our music comes from rebellion and like destruction almost, you know what I'm saying? Like fight the power, like NWA, fuck the police. Yeah. Like these are things that are embedded within our culture at this point. Now, mind you, we don't even run the music industry. So a lot of the things that we subscribe to and that people subscribe to, it's not even like us that are putting money behind it. Now we are buying it, we are listening to it. But it is white people that are putting this music, that run the music industry. So like that's one aspect. But I do think that like there is a bit of, you could say that like when we've all watched videos of police like brutality, right? Yeah. And there have been some where a guy doesn't do anything, like Philando Castile, like back in the day when he told them he had a gun in the car, he reached for his stuff, and the Asian cop pulled one out and just started shooting into his chest. But then you have you do have some videos where like there are people being rebellious and not wanting to listen, and like when they tell you like, hey, get out the car. Now you have your rights, but you also understand like there are rights that there should be all rights for all men. But in reality, it's not. It's not. Yeah. And there was a point in time where I was on the way back from California, going back to my duty station when I was in the Navy. It's 12 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock midnight, or a little bit after midnight. Police pulls us over because I'm trying to like pass the 18-wheeler. I get back over, slow down. He clocks me because like I sped up. He was like, well, you didn't slow down enough time. So he tells me to get out the car. Now, could I have just said, no, I'm staying in my car? Yes. Yeah. But you know what I did? Just because, like, I was taught to just make it home. Like, do what they got to say. Do what they say. Just make sure you get home.
Right. I
got out the car. They told me to walk to the back. My then girlfriend's in the car just waiting. They're like flashing, looking in the car. They asked me where we're going, coming from, what we got going on. And I did like a little chuckle. And one of the other police officers said, what you chuckling about? I said, man, I just want to make it home. Like, I'm tired. Like, I've been driving for 8 hours. I just want to make it home. Right. Then they were like, we're going to let you off on a warning. Just slow down. But if I was going within the rights of what we have as Americans, there's a possibility that I may not be here today. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that there is a bit of a struggle. There's a distrust within our community for police officers and authority. Even like me, like at work, sometimes with my mom, like I don't be wanting to listen to what they tell me to do. It's just like something I do too. But like I do know that like sometimes when we look at like those like police officers and like the brutality, I know when it's time for me to have kids, like I'm going to be one to like you got to teach them. There's a reason why we have to talk with our kids. There's not any other like race or demographic within this in America that has to have this conversation. That part. But in that conversation, I'm not telling my kid like, hey, learn all the laws and rules and regulations so that you can come back and fight with the police officers. I'm telling them, look, this is what it takes to get home. Unless they are telling you to do something that is unlawful to the point where it could put you in harm's danger or harm's way, they tell you to get out the car, just get out the car. Right. Unless they pull a gun or whatever, you stay still. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Yeah. Like that's why it's just like I got the message, but I do think that is a very insensitive thing to say so loosely by him. So it's just like I understand it, but it's still just kind of like reckless.
And to go back to what you were saying earlier of like, you know, we're seen as rebellious, we're seen as, you know, in his words, troublemakers at times because of, you know, our actions. Yeah. Like, why do we think that started originally? Like, why have we had the feeling of rebellion or the need to rebel or to make songs like Fight the Power or not to runaway slave, all these different things, right?
Because like I really think about like police officers as overseers. Like when you think about like, I know I take everything and run with it, but when you think about slaves, like slavery, the poor whites, they were indentured servants, but they realized that if the whites and the blacks came together, they could overpower the masters. So what they ended up doing was they ended up freeing these indentured servants, the whites, and making them overseers. Mm-hmm. Essentially, an overseer at this point are the cops. Right. Now anybody can be a cop. Right. But it just so happened that a lot of these police officers patrol like black communities. Yeah. And then if we're in a white community or a more affluent community, it's almost as if they're patrolling that to make sure we stay out of it. You know what I mean?
And then we stay in line.
You stay in line. Yeah. So
what they want. But what I'm saying is though, like the reason why we've had to rebel, the reason why we had to do all these different things, because they made it that way.
How so?
Meaning like going all the way back to slavery, like you just talked about. You have overseers and then you also have slave masters, all these different things,
the brutality of
right?
That,
so why do we need to even be slaves in the first place? You know what I mean? Like
for free labor.
Right. Yeah. But I'm saying like you guys put us in that position, right? And we fought against that. Mm-hmm. And we've just been fighting our entire lives, all of our ancestors, entire being, exactly, right? And so that's what really bothers me when he says stuff like that. It's like, you know, we need to respect authority, because for me, how he's saying it is like we need to respect these white men or these police officers that are killing us. And it's like, no. But they also need to respect us, though.
Yeah, they need to respect us, but it would be very dangerous if he spoke on the opposite side of that.
What do you mean?
He's telling us, not saying this is what I believe, but I'm just kind of like adding to the conversation. He's telling us like, look, do what you're told so you make it home. Right. But what if he said, hey, every time a cop do something that's unlawful, fight him?
Right. Yeah, you can't say that.
That's what I feel like.
You already know how that would go. Yeah.
It's a very sensitive topic.
It is.
Because, like, if he said one thing, he's being insensitive and not thinking about, like, all the lives that have been lost to police brutality.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, if he's like, man, fight the power, do this, do that, not only is he getting it from our side, because I'm going to be looking at him like, bro, don't be telling our kids to do this.
Yeah, right.
You have too strong of a voice to tell us to fight, realizing that, like, they're a lot more trigger happy when they see us than they do see someone
Their
else
own
just like
time.
them. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why it's like, it's one of those topics we should be able to have a conversation. And I think that's another thing that, not to like kind of take the conversation elsewhere, I do think that regardless of how we feel about what he said, I do think something needed to be said.
Yeah. There's some value behind like what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
I think he should just say it in a different way. Kind of like how people are going to always have opinions. Like it's like what we talked about at the very beginning of this episode.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact.
There's a way to say something. There's different tones, different verbiage that can be used. We're not perfect, but at the same time, I don't know. Just when you initially hear things like that, it's like so I don't like the way you're giving that.
How do you think he could have said it to where like it would have been received by? Now it won't always be received by all, but it would have been received by majority.
I mean, to be honest, it's hard to say because it's not like we listened to the entire sermon. We know you definitely didn't. I didn't either. So to not know how they even got to that part, but I know he was saying something about how we weren't reading certain scriptures and things of that nature, right? But I just feel like he could have articulated it in a way that doesn't make it seem like we're the issue. Yeah. You know, because like when you're listening to it, it feels like we're the issue on that. You know what I mean? Like we're enticing them to do that, or like egging them on to be shooting us because we don't. Our ego's getting away and we don't respect authority.
I do think our ego's getting away sometimes.
They do sometimes, but I also think
we're in the right.
Their ego gets in the way too. Because,
all the time.
Yeah, because
all the time.
Of even making such decisions like that, or even having to say like, "What's so funny?" Like you just said, or "What you laughing at?" Or "Why this? Why that?" You know what I mean? And just the way and the tonality and stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, you're still talking to young men, grown men. Like there's a way to do that in a respectable way, right? So. When you don't do that, like just as somebody said that to you, you know, if a cop was just out and about, somebody said something crazy, like, hey, hold on a minute, like you gonna check them, probably, right? So that's what I believe with that.
It's crazy because like I've been in some crazy like situations with cops. Like that one time I just told you about. There was another time where me and one of my homeboys, like back when we were like fresh out of like high school, riding around like Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, and like legit getting pulled over because car smelled like weed, and we got searched, and it was like rightfully so. Right. They were searching, trying to find stuff. They couldn't find anything. Luckily, they did not check in my pocket because I had a whole nug right here.
How would they not check your pocket of all things?
It was crazy. I thank God they didn't bring like a dog out there.
Amen.
Yeah, but then there's been moments where, like me getting pulled over, to like that time I just told you about, where I didn't do anything wrong. It was almost as if like, oh, he's speeding 5 minutes over. Let me clock him because like we want to.
Then I see he's black, so
it's even worse. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of like different things that come with it, but I do wish that there were more conversations that were had, because like I do think that there was a point in time where like I'm not mad at him saying it, because there was a point in time where the pastor in the black community was like the teacher of like of many. You know what I'm saying? Right. And like,
let's dive into that a little bit about these pastors these days. Go ahead with your.
But
finish your take.
All right. Like I think that like the pastor was he was very high on the totem pole as someone that could really guide the community, especially in the black community. Coming from Bethlehem, I know she went to church every so often.
I went to church every Sunday. But I don't know why you was anything that. No, all the time.
Sometimes, just for like.
I was calling my mom after this pod so you can hear. Like we went all the time.
But like, there was a point in time where I looked at like our pastor as like law. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pastor Baldwin was law.
He was law, you know, and it's like, I think that he's trying to break. Like I've seen like what he has going on at that church. Yeah. It's almost like a cult following, not like a bad cult, but people are really.
At Bethlehem?
No.
Oh, with this guy?
Anthony Mitchell.
Okay.
That guy has a cult following. They just moved into their new like sanctuary. Like congratulations on that. But I do think that he had good intentions behind what he said. It's just tough. But like, You say you want to get into the conversation of pastors. Let's talk about it.
Because I do think there's something there, like you just said. You kind of got to it as like the cult following. Because I feel like pastors right now, because of social media and these different things that allow you to follow, they have even more. Yeah, the megachurches especially have so much more influence on the thinking of the people within their congregation, the people that follow them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like when you say stuff like that, there's a lot of people that could be on the side with him, and then others being like, "Oh, wait a minute, now I'm not getting down with how you're articulating this to our youth."
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like these preachers do that with a lot of different topics and different things that go on within society. You know, in some ways that it could benefit them or it could benefit the people that they know. Like all those kind of things. Like you think about a couple weeks ago when Marvin Sapp was getting fried for that old video that resurfaced of him shutting the doors.
Was that new or
asking
old?
for $40,000. It's an old video.
Okay.
Yeah, but people put it out apparently.
Okay.
You know, asking for money like that, and he locking doors, and we think he's, you know, one way, and it's like, wait a minute, now why are you out here saying you closing the doors for people? But some pastors put that kind of influence on their congregation, right?
Yeah,
or you know, getting their minds so much where they can't separate what's true in the word and what is being manipulated by just the pastor itself.
Yeah.
You know, because they have so much power that they sometimes use that
for their own personal
gain. Exactly. And so I think that's very hard. And you know, you want to trust what they're saying. You want to trust and have a great experience within your church community and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you know, I know every pastor is perfect. They go through their different things, what have you. You know, like even what's the other church down there with Pastor?
Is it here
in Greenville? No, in Greenville over there. Well, it used to be Redemption, but it's Pastor John Gray. Pastor John Gray has been through
Relentless.
Thank you. Has been through some different things too, but people have continued to follow him.
Yeah.
It's kind of been up and down. You know what I mean? But one thing I'll say, like Stephen Furtick is a favorite of mine, but everybody don't like Stephen
Elevation.
Furtick. Yeah, Elevation. Yeah. I love Stephen.
I'm gonna tell you my biggest thing with like the new age church pastors. You know, I like my pastors with the old school like suits. You know what I'm saying?
I knew you about to go there. Hey,
we gotta take it.
Ain't nobody doing that but TD Jakes, and even he was under scrutiny at one point.
But I think that like a lot of what I see now is that like a lot of pastors now flaunt their wealth in a way that wasn't flaunted before.
In what way?
Man, there be some pastors like going up on the pulpit like in Balenciaga shoes, like Gucci shirt, like sweaters, like they really be dressed to the nine. Like a lot of these, like, it's almost, to me, it's almost braggadocious to have a lot of middle class to like low class people coming to your church. You're asking for offering. You're taking a salary off of this offering. You're getting sponsored deals. You're getting this, and you're coming to the church and the best of the best and flaunting off like prosperity, like preaching. Like if you were to stay down and grind like I have, you could become who I am. But when you really think about the teaching, I don't want to turn into a church service, but when you truly think about the teaching of like Jesus and the way he preached and the way he taught, he was with, for lack of a better way of saying it, he was with the real niggas. He was with the drunkards. He was with the poor, the lowly, the whores. Like he was with those who didn't have.
He was in the trenches. Yeah.
He was in the trenches, for a better way of saying it.
Yeah. And
he wasn't rocking, like he wasn't going there with the finest of robes. He didn't go there with the.
Jesus, just let me touch the hem of your garment.
Yeah, like he wasn't going there with the sandal threes, like Lord is my shepherd 24s. Like he wasn't doing that. You feel me? And I think that like Anthony Mitchell might like he wears all black all the time. I don't know what he be in. He might be in like Gucci that dang near you can't tell. Yeah. But bro, I like him because he comes humble. Like he just been through like hurt all his life. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot.
He been through something. Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with these new age preachers. If they want to put some stuff on like that, they want to step out on it, put their Sunday best, and it's a chain, and then the almost like the wide crop tee, and
give me them
some big legged baggy jeans and some fours.
Man,
go ahead.
Man, nah, give me no. Give me those 5X doggone suits.
Wide pants, leg,
Wide
with a suit
pants,
tie.
leg,
Get
yeah.
your little towel, wipe your forehead one
Hey,
time.
I promise you wear some skinny jean suits to me in the pulpit, I'm walking out. We need them 3X.
No, I mean, I get it, because it's like, sometimes you don't want to be in a suit. That may not be your vibe. It's just like when I coached college basketball, I did not want to wear, I said, I just missed the time where they could wear these little quarter zips and and some nice little slacks. I said, gosh, I missed that, because we're having to dress up for every game. That's too much.
That's a fact.
And so I get it. I get it with these preachers. Now, could they tone it down a little bit at times?
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. But it's also like, you're talking about some of those preachers that we see, they still are in mega churches, even though
They are.
populated with middle class to whatever, lower class, or it could be some celebrities that are in there. Who knows? Different things. But I get it. They could tone it down.
Because then I gotta ask you this, like, okay, like this is your job, this is your livelihood, but do you think that a lot of these pastors would be willing to live off of like a 6-figure like salary? Don't take anything other than like $100,000.
It depends on if they were just starting out or not. Probably if they're just starting out, yes. If not, no. Because of what all they do.
They do a lot.
They do a lot. They're teaching on Sunday. They're teaching throughout the week.
And they're teaching like 3 or 4 times in one day.
Right. And then they're going and traveling to other churches, doing other events and other speaking engagements and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot that goes into preaching. Not saying every preacher does that, right? But a lot of them, a lot of these good ones are the more popular ones. To what's good can be subjective, I guess, but what's popular to others, they do a lot. So I think it's subjective. I think it's similar to like the other day, what's professional and what's not. Because I feel like you feel like what's professional for pastors is to wear suit, tie, all that kind of stuff.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
I really just want them to get back to like the old time, like, I don't know.
They're still.
I do judge.
Out there like that.
Yeah, but
they in the cut.
They in the cut.
Or they are in some cities like this, but they're just on a smaller scale. You're not gonna see it on a big scale these days because it's trendy too.
Yeah, I do think that like the mega churches, it's a lot that comes with it. I think a lot of the sermons there are a lot more palatable.
Yeah.
But I also think that I'm a hater. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm the biggest hater.
You guys have it. That's the real hater.
Who, me? Not for sure.
That's what you just said.
I really feel like there has to be a level of humbleness when you come into the pulpit, because it's like, bro, like where is, because another thing I've noticed too is that like there's a lot of money in the pulpit, but there's not a lot of money being like dispersed across the community like it was like when we were coming up. Bethlehem, that's the church we went to down in Fountain Inn. Man, they had like family fun days. Like they had like Hallelujah night
for
like
Halloween.
Yeah, like it was just so much stuff. You didn't have to pay to come, and you just came out there. They had like a whole step team. That they had step shows out there. Had a whole like big old tent where you could go in there and eat. They had like people within the church that were deacons, but they were on the grill that Saturday. And like I feel like that's what is missing. So it's like, when you see these like mega churches pop up and you see these pastors wearing these things, you don't see them. You almost see them as celebrities. You don't even really see them as common folk. Yeah, common people. Pastor Baldwin, like he was damn near like a god to us in that church, but he was touchable. Right. He was out there with us. He would be out there on the grill. He would be out there talking to us.
So we saw him around. He wasn't with no security guard. It was just, hey, how you doing? He knew exactly who you were to.
Yeah, but like I know we just got off tangent. I don't know. We
stayed on task right there. We stayed on topic.
But as far as just like the conversation, the sermon that he had about authority, I will say I'm a firm believer that you should teach your kids to listen and to like make sure they're doing everything they can to make it home if they come in contact with police officers. That's how I was taught. That's how I'm gonna teach my kids. Now, am I gonna tell my kids to be like submissive to authority and like adults? No, because at the end of the day, I don't want to raise submissive ass kids. Right. Like, I want my kids to be leaders, but I want them to understand situational awareness. Right. Have some common sense. Yeah. If you see that there's a cop that comes to you, like, oh yeah, that was another thing I was gonna say. I'll say it real quick. There was a time I was in the car and like I had my pants down. There was a girl in the car. Cop see me swerving a little bit. He pulls me over. It's a young white cop. You know what he does? He laughs and he's like, man, it's cool. Like, just zip yourself up. it's a warning. Just like chill.
First off, you didn't try to zip yourself up before he came to the
It
car.
was too late.
How you pulled over and you had no time. He got to park his car and get out. It was time.
Oh,
She just wasn't finished yet. That's all that was.
All right, that's enough.
Daddy.
That's crazy. But I'm trying to make.
Still trying to get your rocks off when the police is behind you is insane.
It's insane.
And at this point, please stop.
Nah, that's crazy.
We can reconvene later.
But what I will say is that regardless of anything, like, I want to teach my kids to make it home and have situational awareness and have common sense.
Yeah.
If you know you're dealing with a hostile police officer, you can tell within the first 10 seconds
What you doing?
that guy's demeanor.
Yeah.
And at that point, all right, look, if I escalate this, he's going to take it further.
Yeah.
But then there's like those guys that come up, they're real chill, laid back. Give them leeway. Just like quit trying to be a dick. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
But yeah, sorry. Sorry,
I
man.
get it.
Yeah. All right, anywho.
No, I'm with you.
Man, I got a little personal there. Let's go ahead, like,
See, black man trauma right there.
yeah, for real. Let's go ahead and unplug from the outlet, you know what I'm saying? Let's go off the grid. So we already talked about the transfer portal a little bit, but somebody made a major announcement.
Well, we're not going to get on this again, but she officially announced that she would be transferring from South Carolina to Malaysia. So, you know, wish her the best with that.
Congratulations.
South Carolina also introduced their new assistant coach this week, who I'm super excited about.
Who is it?
Delhi from Southern Cal. I think it's a great get to replace Winston, who was really good for us the last couple of years. So I hate that for Juju, though.
Yeah.
Because he was really great there. I know he's very popular with recruits and just with, you know, a true player's coach. So I'm excited to have him on our side. And, you know, look forward to seeing his impact with South Carolina. So we welcome him to this beautiful city of Columbia, South Carolina.
Welcome. You know,
I
it
say
would have been
welcome
better.
like I'm there now.
I was about to say,
But-
you swear, you be like, my team, like, they be eating.
Yeah, they hate me for that. That's like,
Who, we?
if
When
you're a
did you
fan of
play?
that team, what are you going to say? Like, they, them?
Yeah.
Like, I
Like-
could, but like, I ride for that. I'm from South Carolina. I'm from Columbia.
She
Like,
from Columbia.
I'm
They
going
be-
there tomorrow.
They really be eating you. They're like, wait, are you from there? Do you even play? Like, have you ever played basketball? What are your
Google me,
predictions?
get off our comments.
It ain't their fault.
Come play me one-on-one.
She got bad knees now. Don't even
Don't do
talk.
me like that.
Don't even,
Let me get my shit off.
Don't even do that. But
Sit me down. Yeah.
I seen that you put on here. There was 10 men's basketball teams in college.
Wait. Let's say with women's for a second.
Go ahead.
'Cause there's a couple things there. So, the WNBA draft happened. Right?
Oh yeah, that is right. That
We
is right.
had Paige Beckers go number 1. So shout out to Paige. I think everybody knew that this entire year. And so Paige is from Hopkins, Minnesota. And so they're actually going to make, I think they said May 16th, Paige Beckers Day. So that's going to be pretty cool for her to get that honor. But I like the fit she had on for the draft. I think she's going to do
Do you
well.
think she did enough to have her own day?
Apparently they think so.
Okay.
That's not for me to say, but apparently they think so.
Yeah, you might want to stay away from those topics.
No, I'm not staying away from those topics. I'm just saying that they think so. I'm not from Minnesota, so I can't speak to that.
I ain't gonna lie,
But-
there was a lot of fits that night that
Yeah,
were really nice.
yeah.
Haley Van
Anything she
Lith.
on. Yeah, yep. She had a good fit.
Yeah.
I loved Kiki Airfin's fit from Southern Cal.
Okay.
She's going to the Mystics. Like there were some. I thought the Mystics did well in the draft.
You think so?
Yeah, they had a lot of picks, so of course I think they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But the Connecticut Sun, I like who they picked up as well.
Okay.
And then, like I said, like Paige going to Dallas. I'm interested to see how her and Enrique play.
Enrique's ball dominant from what I know.
Yeah, very ball dominant.
Yeah.
Pull up the WNBA draft real quick.
But I will say that from what I've seen in that game, Paige plays well off the
ball too.
Yeah, off the ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's very versatile. Like she's really, really good. She can play on with the ball in her hands or off the ball. She can also defend. You know, obviously there's a learning curve then when you get to the pros with that. But you know, Dallas has put together a pretty good roster, so we'll see how they you know, they got a new coaching staff, so we'll see how they play this year, how they can come together. And everybody's talking about how Dallas is like stud city right now because the whole team is filled with a bunch of studs and maybe a couple films, but really it's yeah. They said the film's gonna be going crazy in Dallas this summer.
I can see that. I seen something where they were like It's a little gossip, but I'm gonna ask you because you would probably know more than I would. That Paige and
Azzy Flood are together. That's what the streets are saying.
They said it was a soft lunch.
That's what they saying.
I seen the hand placement.
A lot of people was talking about that. That was all over the Twitter.
I saw the hand placement.
It's neither here nor there. I don't know. But I think we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
As the season progresses, or throughout the later parts of the year, it'll probably come out at some point because they won't be at the same school anymore, so they can kind of pop out together a little bit more.
Do what they want.
Do what they want. So we shall see.
So like I seen that there wasn't like a player from South Carolina other than like Sanaya Rivers. I mean, she was a transfer from South Carolina that went in the first round. Why do you think that is?
Again, like I said last week, like I've said all year, this is the least talented team we've had in years. And so when you compare it to other teams, not to say they weren't talented at all, but
you could say like this was like one of the more experienced teams, though.
Definitely one of the more experienced teams, but at the end of the day, their skill just wasn't at a high level as some of the other teams we've had in the past. And so I think they were a bunch of role players, right? There's nobody that's really solidified himself as the star on the team. A lot of people would like to say Malaysia was, right? Mm-hmm. But I think there's a difference between being the most talented and being the best player on the team.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So
I agree.
To me, and again, it's subjective to what people think is what and what. But to me, best player and most talented are not synonymous.
They're not the same.
So there's that. So anyway, I think they got drafted to some great places though that fit their style of play and where they could be successful role players. So like
Pow went to Atlanta Dream.
Listen, Pow said had a lemon pepper all flats ready for her. She down there.
Snappers,
yeah, and put that hookah together. No, I'm just kidding. But everybody knows that about Atlanta. But no, I think that's a great pickup for them with the coach that they have now from Florida Gulf Coast that is now with the Atlanta Dream. I think his offense fits Pow's style. So if she can, make the cut from the training camp roster to be able to make the actual team roster for the season, she may be able to get in there a little bit just because of her shooting ability.
Okay.
And then playing behind Jordan Canada, I think maybe he'll move Haley Jones off the ball. I think that would benefit her not playing point.
Okay.
So we'll see. They got some good pieces down there in Atlanta. And then I really like Bree Hall going to Indiana.
The Fever.
Yeah, I think that fits her perfectly because, again, you got shooting, you got a great defender, you got somebody that's very good playing off the ball, that will cut, will move without the basketball, that can knock down an open kick out from Caitlin Clark or, Kelsey Mitchell, whoever's kicking it to her. Yeah. But then being able to lock up on the other end when you need to stop. So, and she's going to rebound too. So I like her, and she's a great teammate. And then
Sanaya
Fagan went to the Sparks. I thought it was an interesting pickup. They got a new staff too, so we'll see how they're gonna play.
Yeah.
I'm not as well versed on the coach there, but or actually, is it the coach from? They used to coach at I'm about to say Nebraska, but it's not Nebraska. It's I'm blanking on where she's coached. But anyway, I think if she can learn behind Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson, that would be good for her because she's continued to get better throughout her years at South Carolina. So we'll see. I really like Georgia Amore.
Lamb Roberts.
Huh?
Is it Lamb Roberts?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where she coached at though. But
the Utes.
Huh?
Coached at Utah.
Utah, that's what it was. I said Nebraska. The Reds was messing me up. Utah, because she coached that kid, that post player. So yeah, she does great with post development. So we'll see. But one of my favorites in the draft, I'm a huge Georgia Amore fan.
Okay.
Now she's a smaller guard, and historically, smaller guards don't do that well in the league. They kind of bounce around and that kind of thing. But she is a scorer, right? She knows how to create space. She can get her shot off against length, and she can also finish out the rim. Now, granted, it's a different kind of athleticism, physicality, all those things, right?
Yeah.
In different schemes in the league. But I look forward to seeing her kind of get her bumps and get better throughout the year with the Mystics. Because she's going to have to play because they ain't got nobody.
They ain't got nobody.
So, roll the ball out. Let's go.
Hey, go out there and get a bucket.
Yeah. And so, I like the other pieces that they got, too. They got Kiki and who's the other person they got on there?
On what team?
On the Mystics. I'm missing somebody. Kiki,
Georgia.
Jordan.
You said Georgia Amore, Sonya Citron. Kiki.
Yeah, now that was a huge one.
Yeah.
Sonya Citron going, she went number 2 actually.
She went 3.
Or 3, sorry. She went 3. And a lot of people's like, what the heck, why is she going so high? she didn't even get talked about that much at Notre Dame. If you watch Notre Dame, that was like the unsung hero in my opinion. Like she went very under the radar just because of Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles. To me, they had a three-headed monster, and that was the other monster right there. Was Sanaya Citron. She can score, she can defend, sneaky good finisher at the rim too. Like she can shoot the ball really well. I think that was a great pickup by them. And it was funny. One of my kids texted me. It was like one of my thoughts on the draft, and they were like, also, biggest question is why is Sanaya Citron so high? And I broke it. I mean, that's Sanaya. Sonia Citron so high, and I broke it down the same thing. I'm like, why she gonna go high? Because she liked it. So I'm excited about her. So yeah, I mean, I think people were placed in some good spots. I think there was a lot of international people that got picked up.
The girl from France.
The girl from France, I'm super excited about. That girl got some bounce.
Yeah, she can dunk.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how she does her thing in this first season. And is she gonna dunk on anybody this year?
Yeah. There's another girl from she's a shooting guard from Lithuania, Justice Joe.
She went to the Valkyries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that the Valkyries picked some international people just because you're trying to build a fan base.
She's only 17, 18?
Yeah, but she's played pro over there.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. But you would think they would pick someone, and also you want to build the roster to win games. I get that. But also like if you're trying to build a fan base, you want people that they can follow. You know what I mean? Like they don't know nothing about that girl.
They don't.
Probably. But I think the fans are gonna be in the building anyway, and we'll see. It's not like people are expecting much from the Valkyries, but we'll see what they end up doing.
Would you say that this like draft was top heavy? Like outside of Paige, I mean, you mentioned like Sonya, Anissa Morrow, like that's a name I know. Sanaya Rivers, that's a name I know.
Yeah.
Haley Van Lith, that's a name.
I think Sanaya Rivers will do well.
With Connecticut?
With Connecticut. Yeah, because she going to have to play too. They don't got nobody either, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's going to learn on the fly, and she's continued to get better as well, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, shoot, you just gave us a whole breakdown of the draft.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I went a little deep there, but I probably could have said some more about some other people, but
you hit the highlights. Though.
Yeah. So I think people got placed in good spots. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to the season starting up in the next like month and a half.
Okay. So it's been a whole lot of talk on like NIL contracts. The biggest one like in football has been Nico Iamaleava, which bro literally took a pay cut to go to UCLA.
This is nuts.
Went from making $2.1 million to now making right under $1 million. But now let's talk about.
Wait, who's gonna make 2.1? Now he's making under $1 million.
He's making like 910,000.
So he thought he could get 4. He was gonna get 2.5, and now making 9. You see, kids, that's a lesson right there. He's gonna be an example for a lot of people.
He said it wasn't for the money, but
bullshit. You walk around tomorrow, $1.4 million.
Bullshit. Because his agent was like literally going around trying to shop him. So.
Right.
But back on topic. The men's basketball teams, you said there are 10 teams with NIL contracts of 10+ mil.
Right. Just this season alone.
What is that like? Is that literally saying that we're none of these teams won the championship?
Bingo! That's what I wanted to talk about. So name them out.
We got
Cameron.
Duke. We got you. You got Kentucky.
Yep.
But Kentucky had to spend big because they lost their whole damn team.
They did, and they got a new coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
For UNC to spend that much money and underwhelm, that's crazy.
And a lot of those kids transferred.
Yeah. Arkansas, it makes sense. And they got 3 of their guys coming back, including the Wagner kid. BYU, and they about to spend more money.
Yeah, they got the number 1
AJ, the band.
in the country. Yeah. Okay.
Indiana.
They weren't making no noise.
They're a blue blood, but yeah. You got Louisville.
They made a little bit of noise this year.
Yeah. Michigan State. No,
just
Michigan.
Yeah.
Then
Just Michigan.
you have St. John's, which
they won their league. They had
a lot of guys transfer too.
Yeah. And then
Texas Tech.
Their best player just entered the draft.
Yeah.
And then who's up? Texas Tech. And then Duke was on there.
Yeah, I said Duke.
Oh, you said Duke. Okay, my bad, I didn't hear that one.
And they better spend some more money too on these freshmen.
Right. So again, like you said, none of those teams won the national championship. Now, some of them got to the Final Four, some got up to the round of 32.
Yeah.
Any other team get to the Sweet 16 other than Duke?
Didn't Arkansas make it? Or they made it to the round of 32?
I think they round of 32.
St. John's didn't make it. No, I don't think anyone made it. Oh, no.
Damn,
Michigan State did. That was Michigan.
I thought the Clippers were going to win.
The Clippers were up like 10 at one point.
Stupid.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, go ahead.
Joker's the MVP.
No, he's not.
But we already did a review of that. So right now, as y'all know, there's by the time this come out, some of the games that we played for the NBA playoffs. Earlier, who won? The Bucks lost 2-0. They got
getting
blew
thrashed
out.
at first.
Yeah, by Indiana.
Yeah.
Who else played today?
Well, we just watched Nuggets versus Clippers.
Nuggets, yeah.
I thought Clippers might steal that one.
And now you'll know the outcome, but right now it's New York and Detroit up. We're playing right now. New York up by 4 in the first quarter. But man, like, how do you see this playoff going, like, realistically? I know we're going to watch the game tonight. You know, you're
Lakers
a big Lakers
versus,
fan, LeBron fan.
Lakers versus Timberwolves. That's gonna be a great matchup.
It is gonna be a really good matchup. So, like, realistically, who do you see in the finals?
I think that's a tough question.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great matchups that lead up until the finals. I think there's a lot of teams that are evenly matched that are going head to head. You know, but I can see. I don't know if I can say who can make the finals just yet. You know, I would love to say the Lakers just because I'm a huge LeBron fan.
Right.
I think it'd be a great story for Luka. Also, he's been playing his butt off too. Was that Camilo Cardoso on the floor?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Okay, maybe not. Anyway, and then, but I also OKC. I love them. I love SGA, and the young boys been hooping. A lot of people don't believe in them right now and thinking that they can get out of the West because of their.
They played Memphis in the first round, yeah.
Yeah, but I think they can beat Memphis.
Okay.
I think it's when they get to the second round and stuff like that. But
Get tough.
yeah, I think that's when it's gonna get tough. But they just think they're not experienced enough.
Not experienced enough.
And they're not. But I think they've played so connected this year and so well together. But I also feel like people are saying that too because SGA is probably not going to get some of the calls that he normally gets because playoffs is more physical. But he can still score regardless.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
See that.
And then on the flip side, the East, you know, not a lot of talk about the Cavs and what they've been doing all season long. You know, will they get over the hump and be able to? Because they don't have like a lot of experience either.
Yeah.
You know. Can they make some noise and get out of their series that they play in? And then the Celtics are the Celtics. You know, I still think even though this year has kind of been up and down for them at times, you still got to go through them if you want to win.
I can see that.
You know, they're just so well coached. Their roster's constructed beautifully. Everybody knows their role. They got some competitors. They got some dogs. They got some dudes that have been there before.
Yeah.
And one of the head honcho that don't get talked about enough is Drew Holiday. And that boy can play some playoff basketball.
Lockdown defense too.
Yeah, but he can also make shots offensively too. So looking forward to seeing what they do. And then, you know, the Knicks have been good this year. But you never know with the Knicks.
They play so many minutes in the playoffs. Like them guys play like 40 minutes. So first round, it might be okay. Second round, get to that third round. Yeah.
But nowadays they got, you know, a day in between or two. And so that can help kind of recover and stuff like that. But it's a grind during the playoff.
Oh, no, for sure.
The playoff series. So we'll see. And then
I love seeing Cade. I love seeing Cade Cunningham in this.
Yeah, it's good to see some of these young dudes. So you know, you got Orlando, you got Detroit. You got some different people in the mix this year.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, but it's still top heavy. I think it's still gonna be Boston.
Who's in the conference final for both?
Boston. I think it's gonna be Boston and Cleveland.
I would love that.
On the other side, Denver's gonna be in there.
You think Denver's gonna be in the Western Conference Finals?
I think so.
They was hooping today. They came back and hooped.
But also, I think it's gonna be Denver. I do think, unfortunately, I do see OKC getting beat this year, like maybe in the second round. Who's on the other side? I really want to say, I would say the Lakers, but I don't know. They've been up and down for me this year. I'm gonna go with Golden State.
Towards the second half of the year. Oh, you hurt my heart with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Golden State.
Man, I do not want to see Golden State get in the finals again. Playoff Jimmy
is something different.
Sick dude, bro. He's different.
And if you're closing out on him, and if you got to close out on him, like Curry's gonna kill you every time. You leave Curry open, he's gonna make it.
We gotta get these dudes out of here.
That's a scary team to play. That's probably the scariest team to play.
The Rockets, and what's crazy is like the Warriors versus the Rockets. Like the Rockets are not that experienced either. You know what I mean? Very young team.
Yeah.
However, they're well coached too, right? Well coached by
Adume.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see Dylan Brooks versus Draymond Green.
Not for sure.
I don't know who's gonna make it out of there. One of those two are
Somebody's
getting
getting punched.
shit show.
Somebody's getting punched.
Yeah, something's gonna fly.
Somebody's
And
getting
it's gonna
punched.
hurt the Warriors more to not have Draymond. I feel like
than it would.
than it would for Dylan Brooks. But
I agree.
you know, a lot of young guys been stepping up for the Warriors, and I think they got the vets in place to help those young guys step up in those big moments. So we'll see, man. I'm a little worried because if the Warriors win round one, the Lakers win round one, we're playing
It's gonna
each
be
other.
interesting.
Yeah, man. So
But I will say,
love it. Playoff basketball, baby. Best time.
this is gonna be a very fun playoffs.
Yeah.
And this was a very great pod.
Yeah, man. Good conversation.
Great conversation.
But you know what? It's
So
time
long,
to
farewell
get up out of here.
to you, my
And you know what we about to do?
bye for now. Until we meet again.
I was thinking of a
Great
different song.
to play and sing together in the box and out.
Shabba still too geek for the guy. Whoa, I've been in the house, but I'm coming outside tonight.
What?
You're so sexy, there's nothing that I want to keep on the side. Yeah, I love how you always keep me in your mind. I feel this baby, but I can feel it deep inside.
Hold on.
Oh, no, okay, go. You know what? Hey. Pause!
Oh my
Bro,
God.
what?